Hello, this is our biology WA2. I'm Sui and I did it with Ethan. Our WA2 is about oil spill and surfactants and what surfactant would be the most useful inside of an oil spill.
Effects on oil spills on organisms in the affected areas. The oil from oil spills can destroy coral reefs, mangroves, and other marine habitats. The oil from the oil spills can also coat the feathers of birds that live near the water or scales of marine wildlife in the affected areas, making it difficult for them to fly, adjust their buoyancy, or even hunt for food. Lastly, the toxins can also affect the internal organs of the organisms that are in the affected areas.
Oil spill causes a lot of problems for the environment, and a way that we could help it is to put surfactant into the ocean that had the oil spill. Now, you may be wondering, how does surfactant help oil spill? Surfactants have hydrophilic heads and hydrophobic tails, and hydrophilic means that it loves water, and hydrophobic means that it hates water. It creates a layer of oil on top of the water that is hydrophobic and hard to remove. But when you put the surfactant in, it lowers the surface tension between water and oil because the tail, which is hydrophobic, attaches to the oil and the head faces outside. And this creates droplets of oil that's surrounded by surfactants, and it's able to disperse and spread out in the water. And when it spreads out, it makes it smaller and easier to degrade. So, as a result, it makes the oil become into smaller droplets and makes it more easy to break down, therefore helping when there's an oil spill. So, now that we know the effects of oil spills and how surfactants could help it, let's move on to the experiment.
The first experiment is a solution of water and oil mixed with detergent. When the detergent is added, the water became cloudy and oil bubbles appeared. The solution also became greenish yellowish and it became translucent. Next experiment is water and oil mixed with bar salts. The solution stayed clear and no bubbles were formed and is transparent and colorless. The last one is my detergent, which was in a powder state. With the oil and water, it became white and opaque. Foam also appeared at the top, and there were dark green dots at the bottom. Thus, I would assume that both solutions of oil and water mixed together.
In this experiment, we are trying to see what surfactant we add into water and oil would make water and oil mix better with each other. So we can conclude that the most effective is Ethan's detergent because the water and the oil mix the most. The second most effective would be the liquid detergent, and the third or least effective would be the bath salts.
Effects of the surfactants on the environment. The first surfactant used, which was detergent, could be harmful towards the organisms in the affected areas as the chemicals from the detergent can affect the internal organs of organisms. The second surfactant, which was a mixture of water and bile salts, affects the environment the least as the water does not change color and will not harm the organisms in the affected areas as much as the other two surfactants. The third surfactant used, which was top detergent powder, affects the environment and the most out of the three surfactants as it completely changes the color of the water to a foamy white and opaque. The chemicals from it can also affect the internal organs of the organisms in the affected areas. Effectiveness of the three surfactants. The first surfactant, which was detergent, was able to break down most of the oil, with some of the oil not broken down. Therefore, it is the second most effective surfactant out of the three. The second surfactant, which is a solution of 98% water and 2% bile salts, was the least effective surfactant out of the three as it did not break down much of the oil in the water. However, it is the safest option out of the three as it affects the organisms in the affected areas the least. The third surfactant, which was a top detergent powder broke down all the oil that was in the water and completely mixed with the water as well, meaning that it was the most effective out of the three surfactants, but affected the organisms in the affected areas the most as it turned the water foamy and opaque.
In conclusion, because the most effective surfactant for water and oil that we found was top detergent powder, if an oil spill happened, we would put this surfactant into the water.
Thank you for listening.